Okay, so hi everybody. So today we're going to be talking about pulmonary sarcoidosis. Okay, and remember, pulmonary means it's in the lung. Sarcoidosis means you're basically going to have some inflammation and you're going to have some what we call granulomas that form. So granulomas are basically a nodule. All right, so granulomas are basically nodules that are due to inflammation. And in these, you are going to have macrophages. Okay, and you're going to have macrophages. And remember, macrophages are a type of white blood cell. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. And like we said, it's a condition in which there's inflammation in small patches of cells throughout the body. So there's going to be inflammation. Condition caused by inflammation. Of small patches of cells throughout the body. So even though this can occur throughout the body, about 90% of cases, or 90% of the time, the cells affected are going to be in the pulmonary system, or are going to be in the alveoli and the bronchioles of the lungs. And if you remember, the bronchioles are the very, very small bronchial tubes. And these here don't have they don't have cartilage anymore. They're basically made up of smooth muscles. Or they have a lot of smooth muscle. So it's going to occur in the bronchiole and in the lungs. Okay? The good thing about this is that most of the time it's going to go away on its own. But before we get to that, let's just take a look real quick. So I'm going to draw the trachea here. So this is going to be my trachea. And then if you recall, we said that we have our primary bronchi and we have then we're going to have secondary bronchi. All right. And we have our primary bronchi, then we're going to have secondary bronchi. Right? And then we said after our secondary bronchi, what we're going to have is tertiary bronchi, right? And then these, I know I'm not drawing the proper number of these, but that's not the point of this. I just want you to see, as this gets smaller and smaller, eventually we're going to get down to our very small bronchioles. All right? And then we said that the bronchioles will actually go into something called the alveolar duct. All right, and the alveolar duct is basically going to bring our air into alveoli. Now remember, you actually got a big sac. I'm just drawing one alveoli. So what's going to happen is, once again, like we've seen so many times before, is you are going to get some inflammation in here and in the alveoli, and we don't know why. We don't know why. Okay, but what's going to happen now is you are going to have your macrophages. Remember, you have alveolar macrophages. And the alveolar macrophages are going to come, and they're basically going to these areas of inflammation. And you're actually going to cause inflammation too. The macrophages will cause inflammation also. And so we get these nodules over time of these macrophages that are building up in here. Okay, and that's the pulmonary sarcoidosis. So we get these are the granulomas here. right? So we said the granulomas are made up of nodules of macrophages. Okay? Now, the thing is that eventually this should go away. So if we take a look, we said that most of the time it's going to go away on its own. Right, we said it's going to go away on its own. So we don't know what brings it on, but the good thing is that most of the time it's going to go away. But the bad thing is because you are having an inflammatory attack, what could happen is you could actually get scar tissue now in the airways. So in rare cases, it can lead to scarring of the alveoli and the bronchioles, because that's where it's affecting, right? Okay, so it can cause some scarring there. When we get scarring in the lungs, we call that pulmonary fibrosis. Okay, so obviously now if I have scarring in my lungs, the bronchial tubes can't expand and contract like they're supposed to. My alveoli is going to have scar tissue, so it's going to interfere with gas exchange. And so what's going to happen is this can actually make it harder to breathe. So this is going to lead to stiffness. Right, because I'm getting that scar tissue on there. And make it harder to breathe. Because again, if you have scar tissue on your alveoli and your bronchial tubes, they can't open and close like they're supposed to. And so you got to force those to open, and then you got to force the air back out. Okay. And once again, so if I'm going to draw my alveoli here, right? If I just draw an alveoli, and basically there's my alveolar duct that's coming up here. This is the alveoli. So basically what's normally going to happen is oxygen's going to come down through here, and it's going to go into the bloodstream. And then carbon dioxide actually comes out this way, right? And that's going to happen all around this alveoli. But if I start building up scar tissue in here, right, this is my scar tissue. So if I start building up scar tissue in here after this attack, or even if I still have the granulomas there, right? If I still even have the granulomas, so let's just draw, we're going to call this scar tissue, my pulmonary fibrosis, right? And let's just, I'm going to use blue here. Let's just say this is my granulomas. Let's just say I haven't even gotten to the scar tissue yet. But now I got granulomas. Can you see now that instead of oxygen, now let's just say I had oxygen coming out from all these areas. Now it's kind of getting blocked, just like my carbon dioxide would be getting blocked, trying to get back in. I know I show it only coming out right here and going in right here, but technically it's all over the alveoli that you're having oxygen go in and carbon dioxide go into the alveoli and oxygen come out. So it affects the ability it affects the ability of oxygen and carbon dioxide. I'm just going to put CO2 for carbon dioxide to move in and out of the blood. Okay? And like we said, the cause is unknown. But the good thing about this is a lot of times people will never even know they have it. And okay, so like I said, and a lot of times people won't even know that they have it. So that is our pulmonary sarcoidosis.